Uncle's cat. Wednesday, 7th of June. Mr. Bear and Becky. The road we're on in Newmarket, which is outside of Toronto in the GTA in Ontario in Canada, which is actually a little bit above most of America, is having an election tomorrow. And in common with all elections in the neo-capitalist age, it's neither democratic nor fair. Becky can. The Green Party weren't allowed to speak in any of the leaders' debates, of course, because they never are, because if we do that, then they'll start to get more votes and they'll actually get elected, and that will threaten the capitalist orthodoxy. That aside, this has been a really bizarre election. I just want to explain for people who, folks, to use a Doug Ford-ism, folks, hey folks. What actually is going on? So, Canada has provinces and territories, and quite a few of them, and you can look it up if you want to know how many and what the national flags are and what the national plants are, that sort of thing. But in terms of politics, Ontario is usually, historically, the most powerful political force in the country of Canada. The way the system works here in the provinces is much like the United States in terms of governance, except with extra powers, for example, the sort of powers the Europeans would be used to seeing in devolution governments, like Scotland. Now, I'm not really sure, but we actually have our own police force, we have our own health care, we have our own taxes on top of federal stuff here. So it's an important election. And after 15 years, the mass media have decided that the Liberals need to leave because they've been in power too long and there's been all of these scandals and la 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 la. So they're doing very badly in the polling. Now remember, polling is landline pollings to old people who have landlines like me, who answer the phone and then talk to people. So everybody's saying like the election is impossible to call for tomorrow. The interesting thing with the election is that Patrick Brown was elected the Conservative, which would be kind of like extreme lefty in the state, most of the states. He was elected the Conservative leader and then decided to resign when I think one or two women or one woman decided that he'd raped her in the past. So he resigned about 5 months before the election, 5 months ago. And after a few weeks he decided to run again and got defeated. And he got defeated by Doug Ford. Doug Ford, as you may or may not know, is the brother of Rob Ford, part of the Ford brothers triumvirate, because Randy is kind of the secret Ford, who were born multimillionaires and who remain multimillionaires. And are the most oddest people you'll ever meet. Now, having won the election for the the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario, that was a lot of interest there because hundreds of thousands of people joined that party to vote for Doug Ford to get him elected. And there is some suggestion, not proven at this point, that he actually paid for their entry. Leaving that aside, we have an election tomorrow, and the Progressive Conservatives haven't bothered to have any sort of budget or any outline of anything. They have like pages and pages and pages of the most incredible promises. Non-biased economics said that if they actually aren't lying to the people, which they are, let's be honest here, they're lying, and people are stupid because they're allowing them to be lied to in a most obvious way, would cost billions upon billions of Canadian dollars in deficit spending. Obviously they're not going to do that. What they're going to do is what Conservatives always do. They'll increase the unemployment rate to drive wage pressure and union pressure down, and alter tax structures so the people who own capital can continue to accumulate more and more of it. That's what they always ever done. Last time we had a Conservative government, they made the incredibly stupid decision to fill in the subway expansion to York University, which was just about done, to try and save a few $100,000 and then a few $100,000 million, and then decided to increase highway. Sold the highway after we built it. We, the people, paid for it. Sold it to a private company to run and take all the profits from forever. And people keep voting for these people. Now, what choice do you have? Well, the Liberals are capitalist as well. They have some issues. I'm going to call the election right now. I believe in the election tomorrow there will be a minority Conservative government. I believe that minority Conservative government will try to form the government and will fail. I believe that a coalition government of NDP and Liberals will take over. But we'll see. I would not be completely surprised if the Liberals win a majority government tomorrow. Polling 21%, so they've got no chance at all. This is one of those elections where, and the mail-in votes show it, people really don't trust anybody in the, and they've made their minds up. A lot of people have already voted. Kitty's already voted. I don't think people are going to go in the booths tomorrow. Those few who do and vote for this guy, I really don't. Some will because they're really stupid and they think that multi-millionaires are actually for them. And it'll fix the problems of the province. Despite refusing to disclose a lot of things. The other interesting thing, Social Democrats, which are very, very socialist, like way left of Bernie Sanders in American terms, they could actually win a majority government, and that would be great. Except the last time they did that, the bankers and the elites got together and crashed the economy by increasing interest rates and debt to Ontario, and then prevented Bob Rae from actually running and actually being able to govern, which caused a lot of enforced austerity on Ontario. And a lot of people don't forgive the NDP for that. But you know what? They didn't expect to win. Very similar to this election, they didn't expect to win, and Bob Rae was actually on holiday in Florida when he found out he actually became the premier. It was a big shock. They weren't expecting to govern. Now, I don't think the Liberals are expecting to govern tomorrow, after tomorrow, but they might. I wouldn't be shocked, but that transition would be straightforward. So yeah, so there you go. So what you'll see is me outside during rush hour on what's now become a very busy street thanks to the lack of proper transit infrastructure expansion from Kathleen Wynne. And you'll see me putting this sign out here in an area of the GTA that is predominantly conservative, with the small c. They actually did vote in a Liberal last time around, but it would be shocking if Christy Elliott, who should have been the PC leader if there weren't all of these votes, and would have stomped the election tomorrow. PCs would have stomped. Absolute vast big majority of Christy Elliott was their leader. But no, they picked Doug Ford, the brains behind the Ford brothers, which is kind of amusing. So yeah, there you go. The other thing with the scandals that we've been having, Social Democrats taking their quotes from Hitler, and Rob Ford's widow, Renata, who's got some issues, I think. Look who she married. Is suing suing Doug and his brother Randy, the secret Ford, for $16.5 million for stealing and embezzling funds that should have come to her when Rob died, keeping life insurance policies that were for her and not giving her the money, transferring money illegally between two companies to try and pretend that Decca labels their company, is actually afloat. Of course, Doug is shocked, feels it's a tragedy for the kids, all of the usual conservative nonsense, snowflake responses. Rather than deal with her with what she's saying, he just says it's not true. I don't know, where's this coming from? I don't know, this is complete shock. She's just doing it to try and get money off me. And to a large degree that could be true, but she has actually filed lawsuit, so there will be a criminal law case coming up, whether he wins tomorrow or not. So yeah, politics can be fun. In terms of who I would vote for in this election, I would probably vote for none of the above. I really don't believe the NDP will deliver what they're trying to say they'll deliver. Andrea Hoaf is a good person, but she's a professional politician and has always white power, and for that reason as well I don't trust her. Doug Ford is a complete pig and stupid, and yeah. And Kathleen Wynne, I'd like to vote for her, and if I could vote for her, I probably would vote for her. She's a genuine person. She's done a lot for this province. The Liberals have some systemic issues, but all the political parties have them. And yeah, I'd probably not vote at all, or I'd vote for Liberal. And I'd probably be in the minority if I voted for Liberal, and I've got a feeling I'm going to be in the big majority for voting, not voting at all. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little insight into Canuck politics, Ontario style. We are likely to wake up tomorrow with either a Liberal, PC, or NDP majority government. If it's an NDP, it won't be surprising. If it's a PC, it won't be surprising. If it's a Liberal, it's going to be a major shock. If the PCs lose, the PC party, at least half of them hate this man's guts. And there'll be more infighting. Plus we've got a lawsuit to look forward to. The Ford Brothers TV show continues. Au revoir. Oh, and the other thing is the mainstream press. We have The Sun, which is solid conservative up here, that spouts rubbish and lies over its front page. It takes about 5 minutes for somebody of any intellect to read that paper, and it's popular. The other one is The Star, and then the Toronto Star. That's very left to liberal neo-capitalist, and that also prints a lot of lies. So if you are using one newspaper or one TV source, try and find other sources as well, because mainstream media is really biased in one direction or another these days, and usually the direction is the same direction, whether it's left or right, and that direction is to keep we the people from organising and joining with each other to actually stop this accumulation of wealth that we're generating, that the elites are controlling, the ever-increasing stock prices and stuff like that, that need to be redistributed to the 99.9% of us who are normal. That, folks, is what people should be talking about in the election, and nobody is. Toodaloo.
Tom Finch turned to the waitress and said, "Bring me another Alpine. I'll have one more before I go to tell Marie the news." "Well, boys, we're for it this time. The plant is closed for good. Reagan broke his promise, and we're all through. We're working men with no work left to do. I always thought I'd have a boat, just like my dad before me. You don't get rich, but with the boats you all